camera.
She can't tell it on
Jeannie,
blackmail you later.
can't tell it on camera.
Attention, please. No camera, just
May I have your attention?
Jeannie, jealous.
Jeannie, you're on.
Okay, we have these two sisters. This is for Jimmy. We have these two sisters from Mississippi. One sister's name is Claire June, and the other sister's name is Sue Ellen.
Hey, talk to me.
And Claire June,
Dr. Bill.
Claire June went to New Orleans for the first time, and she couldn't wait to tell Sue Ellen about her trip to New Orleans. So she called her up and she said, oh, Sue Ellen, did you know that down here in New Orleans they have men that will kiss other men on their private parts? And Sue Ellen, oh my goodness. She said, what do they call those men? She said, well, they call those men homosexuals.
Homosexual?
She said, and Sue Ellen, did you know that down here in New Orleans they have women that will kiss other women on their private parts? And Sue Ellen said, well, what do they call them? She said, they call them lesbians. She couldn't believe it. She said, but Sue Ellen, let me tell you, did you know that down here in New Orleans they have men that will kiss women on their private parts? She said, well, what do they call them? She said, well, after about an hour and a half, I called him Precious. Same two women.
Same Sue Ellen is
Sue
Sue.
Ellen and
I like
Claire June.
Sue Ellen.
Claire June was driving home one day in her big fine Cadillac. She's driving down the road and she says, well, Sue Ellen, you know, my husband gave me this big fine Cadillac for birthing our first child. Sue Ellen looked over at her and said, that's nice. They drive down the road, they come up to the big fine white antebellum home, you know. She said, you know, Sue Ellen, my husband gave me this fine home for birthing our second child. She said, that's nice. They walked inside, big marble floor, baby white grand piano. She said, you know, Sue Ellen, my husband gave me this baby grand piano for birthing our third child. She looked at her, she said, that's nice. She said, well, Sue Ellen, you have children. Didn't your husband give you anything for birthing any of your children? She said, well, yes, he did. She said, well, what did he give you? She said, well, he sent me to charm school. She said, charm school? She said, why did he send you to charm school? She said, so they could teach me to say, that's nice, instead of fuck you.
I love it. I just love your cute southern accent.
Okay, Terry, this one's for you. This one's for you, Terry.
Oh, this one's for me.
They had these two guys that were in this contest. It was like a spelling bee.
Hi, Jane.
Except instead of spelling the words, you had to make a rhyme with the word. Okay. It got down to the finals, and the last two guys in it was a guy from Harvard and a guy from Lafayette.
Oh, God.
They drew the word out, and the guy, the master of ceremony, said the word that you have to rhyme is Timbuktu.
It's what?
Timbuktu.
Timbuktu.
Okay.
So the guy from Harvard says, no problem, no problem. He scratches his head for a minute and he says, once in the desert with the sky so blue, a caravan of camels, destination Timbuktu. Everybody applauded, gave him a hand. He thought he won. The guy from Lafayette walks up to the podium and scratches his head. He said, no problem. He said, my partner Tim and I, a hunting we did win. When we come upon three maidens sleeping in a tent. Now there was three of them and just us two. So I bucked one and Tim bucked two.
I had heard that one.
now this sounds like
Now
Bunny's
you're
house.
do you know what a woman does
Oh,
with
this
her
is
asshole?
What?
Do you know what a woman does with her asshole while she's making love?
I hope this is short.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
She leaves him at home.
Maybe we can put her on
We'll tell her the other side of that.
Uncle Bill,
Uh-oh.
do you know how a man makes his wife scream while he's making love?
What an airplane get by?
Wait,
Call her up and tell her where he's at.
I couldn't hear it. You have to wait.
Sign language. You know how you make your wife, you know how you
Gotta
make,
make a
you know
wife
how you make your wife scream while you're making love? You call her up and tell her where you're at. No, he's
Yeah, no.
a little delayed reaction there, but that's fine.
You know you make your girlfriend scream.
No.
But I need a bitch.
You got chicken.
Bill!
Well, Jeannie, you got a pretty good act going. All we need now is a good PR man. Yeah, we could make some money out of this thing over, don't you think?
Yeah.
What's another one? You tell all my
What's your
jokes.
stuttering joke?
Oh, which
Yeah,
one?
tell that one.
Oh, you learned all these jokes from John S?
Travis? No, he learned them from me.
John Ed's her agent.
If she made me swear to God, I wouldn't tell none of her jokes tonight.
Travis guy that had he had a stuttering problem.
A what?
A stuttering, he stuttered.
Okay.
Poor soul, he stuttered. And he went to the patent office and he had an apple and an orange. And he walked in and he said, I want to get a patent. And the guy sitting there said, it's an apple and an orange. You know, I don't understand why you need a patent. And he said, this apple tastes like 5 different fruits. And the guy said, it tastes like, what is it? It tastes like 5 different fruits. He said, taste it. So the guy picked up the apple, took a great big bite out of it, and he said, golly, this tastes like banana. He said, turn it. Turned it around, took another big bite. He said, golly, this tastes like strawberry. He said, turn it. Turn it again, tastes like pineapple. You know, 5 different fruits. He said, man, that's great. Now I understand why you want to get a patent. He said, what about the orange? And he said, tastes like pussy. The guy picked up the orange, took a big bite of it, and he went, yeah! He said, man, this tastes like shit. He said, turn it.
I sat in the barroom one night, the guy that we work with has got a bad stutter, and I sat there and drinking beer, and I said, man, I want to tell this joke so bad, but I gotta wait till
Okay, the other guy, this guy's a poor guy, same old guy, went to the doctor to see about his stuttering problem. He's going to get it fixed. And he walked in, he said, Doc, he said, I just can't quit stuttering. He said, can you help me? The doctor, trying to go in the exam room and get undressed and everything, you check him out. So he goes in there and, gets undressed, and the doctor walks in, he's checking him out, and he's all just rubbing. He gets down there, and I mean, this guy is hung like to his knees. Just hung. And the doctor steps back and he goes, well, my God. He goes, now I know why you stutter. And the guy says, well, why, Doc? And he says, man, that thing's got to be pulling on your vocal cords and making you strain. He said, I think if we cut about this much off of that thing, your stuttering problem will be all over with. And the guy says, just do what you got to do, Doc. So he has surgery, and a couple weeks later he goes back in for a checkup, and he walks in, he says, Doc, man, my stuttering problem's gone. He said, it's great, I don't stutter anymore at all. He said, it's just one thing. He said, ruined the shit out of my sex life. The doctor turned around and said, the deal.
Okay, Jane, you know where we can put her on stage?
Las Vegas!
Live from the Palomino Club.
Bring her up to Harvey's.
No, you.
Well, I'm gonna sell.
We couldn't talk that if we tried.
I'm selling these videos later.
Where's your list?
Yeah, we like that.
I don't know if I'm too drunk to tell the tea joke or not.
What,
The tea joke.
The tea joke. Well, go ahead, Jeannie. You're there now, so go ahead and tell the joke.
God damn, you there.
You can tell the championship big joke, though.
Championship pig,
You know
huh?
that joke.
You tell. She doesn't know that one. You tell.
Well, Alphonse and Pierre, you know, Alphonse had been gone from South Louisiana for a long time. And he come back and he visited his friend Pierre, and Pierre, he's sitting on the front porch of Pierre's house. Pierre had a brand new house. He's sitting there, he said, man, he said, Pierre, I like this house. He said, oh yeah, he said, it's nice, I just had this house. He said, now, all this green grass and everything, he said, you got all these animals and everything. He said, but I noticed, he said, you got a pig out there and got but 3 legs. Pierre said, yeah, but yeah, sure. I said, you don't know the story about that pig. He said, that's a championship pig. He said, what you mean a championship pig? He said, well, a long time ago after you left, he said, you know, my little boy, he said, went out there and he was swimming in the pond, said he was drowning. He said he was going to drown, sure as hell. He said that pig run all the way across the field, jump in the pond, grab that little boy, drag him out of the pond, said saved his life, sure as hell. He said, I can't believe that. He said, that's an unusual pig. He said, oh yeah, it's a championship pig. He said, but you ain't heard the whole story. He said, you remember where my old house was back there by the pond? He said, the house caught on fire. He said, man, we all run out and everything. He said, my little girl was all trapped in the back bedroom. He said, that pig run across the field, jumped through the window, got that little girl, dragged her out the house. He said, she'd have died sure as hell except for that pig. He said, man, God damn, I ain't never heard nothing like that. Yeah, he said, that's an unusual thing. He said, yeah, but Pierre said, you ain't never told me why the pig got but 3 legs. He said, man, a pig like that, you didn't think I was going to eat him all at one time.
McCoy.
Yes.
Yeah, McCoy.
Where's our beer?
That's a pretty good Cajun accent you have there, Johnny.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds just like Edwin Edwards when he tells that story.
All right, Jeannie, let's hear about the tea.
I'll tell you what.
I like cinnamon claret. I could do that one.
20% flavor.
That's what we have for you.
Hey, Jeannie, you gotta learn to play to the camera.
I like the camera. I was funny.
You heard that joke about Alphonse and Pierre with that telescopic rifle?
No.
Telescopic rocket. Scope. Got him a new scope. He can sit on my lap.
Well, Alphonse called Pierre. He said, man, God damn, he said, I got this new rifle. He said, you won't believe. He said, I got this telescopic sight on it. He said, you won't believe. He said, you got to come see this scope. Man, they went over there. They come on out. They looked at it. And they looked through that scope. Alphonse said, Pierre, he said, what you think about that scope? He said, man, God damn, he said, this thing unbelievable. He said, I can see from here all the way into your bedroom at your house. He said, God. He said, what you see? He said, well, I see your wife Marie. He said, you know, the fella down the street. He said, I see him in there with Marie. He said, God damn. He said, I'm going to tell you what you do. He said, you can shoot this gun. He said, I want you to shoot him right in the head. Shoot her right in the head. He said, I think I can do that with one shot from here.
I really don't know who is better at telling.
Jeannie is.